Let's look at the next problem. We need to factor this particular trinomial. First step, check for a GCF. There is no GCF among all three terms, so we can proceed to the next step. Step 2, multiply your outer numbers together, namely positive 6 and negative 7, which will give us negative 42. Figure out what factors of negative 42 will somehow add or subtract to give us a positive 19 in the middle. Let's try 6 and negative 7. Well, 6 minus 7 will give us negative 1, so that pair doesn't work. Let's try 2 and negative 21. Well, 2 minus or 2 plus a negative 21 will give us a negative 19. That's close, but we need our middle term to be a positive 19. So let's try negative 2 and 21. You're right. That pair gives us the correct middle term. The next step, rewrite your middle term using the negative 2 and 21. And we need to write those numbers in terms of x. So we have 6x squared minus 2x, minus 2x plus 21x minus 7. At this stage, we can factor by grouping. Group the first two terms and the last two terms and take out their GCFs. Well, with the first pair, the GCF is 2x. We need to find what's left in the parentheses. Divide each term by 2x. This will leave us with 3x minus 1. For the last pair, the GCF is just 7. No need to take out a negative 7 here because both signs are already the same. We are left with also 3x minus 1. Since we have the same expression in both pair parentheses, we can go ahead and get our final answer. So we have 3x minus 1 times 2x plus 7. Again, make sure and check your answer by foiling it out or using the distributive property to see if you got the original trinomial. All right, let's look at one more example. Question 3, we have this trinomial that we need to factor. First step again, check for a GCF. There is no GCF among all three terms, so we can go ahead and multiply the outer numbers together. Although there are extra letters involved, you still multiply 3 times 4. So we have 12 to work with. We need to figure out what factors of 12 can multiply to give us a positive 12 and somehow add or subtract to give us a negative 13. If we use negative 3 and negative 4, that won't work out because that will give us a negative 7. Let's try negative 1 and negative 12. You're right, that works out. Gives us negative 13. We need to rewrite the middle term using the negative 1 and negative 12. Now, since the middle term is in terms of x and y, we need to write our found pair and also in terms of x and y. So we have 3x squared minus 1xy minus 12xy plus 4y squared. You know at this point we need to factor by grouping. So we'll group the first two terms and the last two terms and take out their respective GCFs. First pair only have an x in common. So if we take out an x, what's left is 3x minus y. Since that first sign is a negative, this sign also needs to be a negative. So we need to factor out a negative GCF from the last pair of terms. The GCF is negative 4y. If we take out a negative 4y from each term, we are left with 3x. And be careful here, positive divided by negative will give you a negative y. Both parentheses have the same expression, so we are in good shape right now and ready to write our final answer. 3x minus y times x minus 4y. Again, multiply your answer back out to see if you got the original trinomial. In the next video, we will conclude our discussion on factoring trinomials.